ish. One.
There we go.
There it is. Here we are. We are live, ready to rock and roll on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Thank you all, as always, for tuning in to the Carrier Experience podcast. Got a fun one for y'all today. 9 tips to grow your agency. Tune in.
The Carrier Experience Podcast is a show for anyone who wants to grow their agency and be a titan of the insurance industry. Learn from a panel of experts who share their agency struggles, their experiences with the nation's best carriers, and share the marketing secrets that successful insurance agents are using today. Now, here's your host, the insurance bro, James Cias.
Will it ever get
Never
old?
gets old. Never gets old.
I love it. I love it. It's it's funny. That we took that from the Business Bros podcast that we were doing and just kind of carried it over here. It works, man.
It works, dude. It totally does.
Works. I love it. So, today's episode is all about 9 tips to grow your agency, and this is going to be a really fun one. I'm really excited about this. I barely looked over the article. Oh, and before I get any further into the show, as always, quick reminder to all of you listening and watching out there, if you could please find that subscribe button on whatever platform that you're listening to us on, hit that rate, review, leave us a little something, because it definitely helps for us to show up higher on search results. And if you are watching us on the YouTube live, again, same thing. Just hit that subscribe button, the little bell, so that you know when we are going live again, which is every day roundabouts 2:30. So here we go at it once again. And today, oh yeah, good. Thanks for throwing that up there. Also, don't forget to follow me on all the social medias at Insurance Broham. So.
Boom.
9 tips to grow your agency. I'm really excited to read this, to talk about this one with you. I barely glanced over it, but I'm excited about some of the things that it's showing us here, because honestly, I think that we have done a lot of it already. So, really excited to talk about it and share what we've done, how we've done these things, and let's kick it off here with step number 1 or tip number 1. Set goals. Now, this should be an easy one. Oh, and you know what? Actually, before I jump into this, I just want to give you a shout out and a huge thank you, because you are joining me today from your car on the road, getting ready to show properties. And we're going to be doing back-to-back podcasts here today to fit
The mobile version.
our 2 daily commitments, the Carrier Experience podcast and the Business Bros podcast, into the day.
Dude, anything, you know what it is? And here's the thing, like, it kind of lies perfectly into that first goal that we're talking about here, set goals. The goal we have is to be on this podcast every day.
Every day.
Whether we're talking about the Carrier Experience or we're talking about the Business Bros, we set a goal, just like we tell our sales reps to set their own goals, right? We set the goal to be on a podcast every day. Now, we're working on getting interviews every day on this show, but we do an interview almost every day on the Business Bros, and that's our idea of prospecting. So the goal is to talk to someone new every single day, tell them what it is you do, create content for social media so that social media sees that we're active, right? Do all these things, send our emails, send our contacts. It's one of those 5 things that we talk about every single day: lead generate, lead follow up, present, negotiate, and close every single day. And like I said, this is just what we do.
Without fail, this is what we do, and we love it. This absolutely has been the best prospecting tool that we've ever come across, podcasting. But getting into these tips, when it comes to growing our agency, number 1 is setting goals. This podcast, doing this daily, was a goal, or has been a goal for us. But I am huge on goal setting. My agents know this because I send a newsletter every morning. Okay. Pretty much every morning. I think I miss a day here and there. I know I missed one this week. Nobody called me out on it, so I got lucky. But in my newsletter, I talk a lot about setting goals. I'm so passionate about it because of how much it's helped me in growing this agency and our business and everything that I do. When it comes to setting goals, my recommendation, the way that I like to do it, is to start with a 3-year vivid vision. Now, Nan, you're talking a lot about me and 10, right? Me and 10, and I know it comes from Matthew McConaughey, and his hero is himself in 10 years, and it's an ongoing thing. Every 10 years, he's still not there because it's whoever he's going to be 10 years from that point. And while I love that idea and that ideology, I was thinking about it and journaling about it, and 10 years is just too long for me. It's too far in the future, and I'm not able to set goals around who I'm going to be in 10 years. But I do find it much easier to set goals around who I want to be and where I want to be in 3 years. 3 years is a pill that I can swallow a little bit more easily. So setting goals for me is huge, and it revolves around my 3-year vivid vision. And this vivid vision is about as vivid as I can make it. I can tell you that I want 44 employees. I want them making about 70 grand a month. Yeah, I'm just going to say that, about 70 grand a month each. I want 100 agents making $10,000 a month each. And I can tell you exactly what roles those 44 employees are going to take. I know where I want them placed. I know which seats on the bus that I want to fill. My vivid vision not only talks about the numbers that I need, it talks about my space. What do I want my agency to look like? Where do I want it to be? Where do I want to be located? Where do I want these people working out of? And I update my vivid vision every month. On the first of every month, I dive into it. I make sure that I'm still aligned with it. And if anything has changed, then I go in there and I start making those changes so that I can align my annual goals with my vivid vision. When my annual goals are aligned with that vivid vision, I know that I'm going to be doing the right things to work towards it, because it's where I want to be. It's what I want to really do and achieve. And again, I've talked about this, can't tell you how many times. I work that all the way backwards to, my annual goals, my quarterly goals, my monthly goals, my weekly goals. And, you and I, we keep our weekly planners, and mine, I'm just pulling it out right here because it's sitting right here in front of me every single day. My weekly plan, along with my one thing that I need to do every day to get me that much closer and that much better to my annual goals and my vivid vision.
And you are definitely the guy that I go to when it comes to goal setting, because the way you have it set up as far as the process, it's not the first time you're doing it. Like, you've been doing this for a while, you have a good groove, you know what you do on Sundays, you know what you're doing the night before, you're intentful behind it. And it just comes with practice, right? Because I know I'm still getting better at doing that. For example, I skipped doing my quarterly goals this month, and I didn't even realize I skipped until you called me on it, and I realized that I didn't set my quarterly goals. I'm still doing my daily goals, I'm still doing my weekly goals, but it's that methodical getting in the groove of doing those things so that you can set yourself up for that kind of success.
100%. All right, so moving on. Tip number 2 is to invest in your staff. And I love this one. I have been called a socialist by our former business partners. We recently bought them out, but I've been called a socialist because I want the people around me to make a ton of money. I want everybody that works with me to be happy in their position and to be well compensated. And, I feel that that's an investment in my staff. Now, I know you're going to tell me something along the lines of, it's great to invest in your staff, but the business still needs to be profitable. 100% totally true. But when it comes to investing in staff, it's not just about what you pay them. It's also, in my opinion, about how you treat them. Whether they are people directly in your office, if you get some VAs, some virtual assistants that are helping you from different places around the world, the way that you treat them, the way that you interact with them is going to determine how they work for you, how well they work for you, how passionate they are about the work that they do for you. You want to add something to this?
No, I mean, investing in your staff is important, whether it's education, whether it's on a financial aspect, whether it's something as simple as providing them with a comfortable chair and a good computer to work with. Investing in your staff comes in a number of different ways. So yeah, as an accountant, and my background's in accounting, looking at that bottom line is definitely important. And I'm always going to look at, the expense that is incurred when acquiring payroll. However, if you do hire staff and you pay them well, you tend to have less turnover. So you don't have to go back and retrain these people, reteach the process, do all these different types of things. You have somebody who's in there who wants to be at their job, who wants to perform at their level, who knows the value that they're getting and is willing to give that value back to the business.
100%, 100%. If you are passionate about what you're doing, you can be what's the word I'm looking for? Not magnetic, but it will flow out to the people that work with you as well. All right, moving on. Tip number 3: create a winning environment. I remember when I first started with Pipeline Insurance 6 years ago, and Jimmy told me, "Hey, there's really not a culture. There's not a corporate culture, and we want you to help create that." I was like, "All right, sure." I, at the time, was still in that mentality of everybody's got to buy insurance. Why not buy it from me? And so the culture that I created early on maybe wasn't the best. But as soon as my ideology changed, as soon as my perspective changed, and I started approaching insurance from a way of helping people to create wealth today and generational wealth for tomorrow, as soon as it changed from being something that people have to being something that I can help people and provide a service, everything changed. The culture changed. People, toot my own horn a little bit, people love to work with me. People love to work for me. And the people that I work with, they tell me this, and it's about always showing appreciation. I tell every single one of my team members how much I love them, how much I appreciate them, how much I appreciate the work that they do. They are what makes me successful. Thank you so much, Kinzen, for that shout out. And yeah, it's what makes our insurance agency run effectively when everybody's working as a team, when everybody's working together with a common purpose and a common goal.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's what a winning environment is. When you walk into a place, you're not the only one holding up the energy. You're not the only one running and operating the business. Everybody knows exactly what the goal is. Everybody knows exactly what needs to be done. Everybody has their place, their cog in the wheel, and they're all doing their thing at the highest level and working towards a common goal. That's really what a winning environment is.
100%. All right, moving on. Tip number 4: establish a marketing game plan. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to let you take this one first.
All right.
You're my marketing guy.
That's really what I spend a lot of my time on. Look, here's, when it comes to marketing and advertising and, branding, that sort of stuff, you really got to focus your attention on, first and foremost, your bottom line, right? When you're spending money on something, when you're a small company, the money that you're putting out on a regular basis needs to have a return on investment. If you're creating a Facebook ad, think about what the intent of that ad is. Are you doing customer acquisition? Are you trying to sell the product right there on the spot? What is the intent of the marketing that you are doing there? It's not just, hey, I want to put my name out there and hopefully people see it and maybe they walk in the door. That's a poor strategy for a small company. You're trying to mimic what Nike is doing and what these big brands are doing, where they spend millions of dollars that they can just, have brand recognition. When you're small, you can't do that. Every dollar you spend in marketing has to have the intent of returning something, whether it's
Mhm.
client information, data, phone numbers, emails, or you're getting a client right then and there to buy. So establishing a marketing game plan and is basically a lot like the goal setting. Decide what the intent of that particular plan is going to be, and then develop a strategy to go ahead and execute that plan. And when you're talking about marketing, when you're talking about those sales techniques, understand that you are going to make mistakes. You set budgets in place at the very beginning to see what the results are. Once you find a strategy, let's say, for example, you're using a Facebook ad, and you have a strategy where your particular sales funnel is now you're spending $5 to $5, $10, $20, whatever it is, to acquire a customer. And when you acquire that customer, you bring back $21, right? So it costs you 20, you get back 21. At that point, you shouldn't have a marketing budget for that anymore. You should be putting as much money as you can to acquire $1 at a
Mhm.
time. Now, I'm not
Mhm.
saying shoot for $1 in profit here, but what I'm
No.
saying is you shoot for a profit margin, something where you have a gain, and then you don't have a budget. You spend as much money as possible. The best way I've heard it explained is, if I was giving away $10 bills and all it cost you was $5 to get that $10 bill, how many would you buy? And of course, the
As
answer
many as
is
I
as
can.
many as you can get your hands on. Well, that's the way it works when you're talking about marketing and establishing your game plan here. You're figuring out how to spend money as cheaply as possible. You're putting it out in the form of marketing to get a return in the form of a customer paying you for your particular product or service.
100%. 100%. So all of that is absolutely true. The one thing that I will add to that is you do not have to be the pro at everything. All right. Go back to tip number 2, invest in your staff. I am not a marketing pro. This guy over here, there we go. This guy over here, he's much better at this than I am. He's much better at the marketing game than I am. And that's why he's part of my team. So establishing a marketing game plan also could be something about investing a little bit of time and money into bringing somebody on that can help you with that, if that's not your area of expertise. All right, number 5, utilize a proven contact strategy. So in other words, this is all about the reaching out and getting in front of people and telling them what you know. There's a lot of different ways to do it, and you know what works for one person may not work for another. Here at Pipeline Insurance, the way that we teach, the proven contact strategy that we teach, is all about building a solid network of referral partners. It is proven, it has worked. Our sales coach has done it, and she can teach our agents how to do this over and over and over and over again. It works. It's been done. She built an awesome agency herself that she still profits from to this day. She's retired. She sold it. She's, pretty much done with it, but she still gets a little bit of kickback from it because she did everything that she needed to do to build it. And she now teaches our agents how to utilize her contact strategy. So utilize something that already works. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Somebody has already done it before you. Don't try to figure out a new way to do it better if you can see what has already worked. Maybe you can improve on what's already worked, but don't try and go a whole new different direction unless you can prove that it does. Anything you want to say to that?
Yeah, the second side of this, well, on the one side is what James was talking about, was acquisition of new clients and new customers. The other side of a contact strategy is retention. So it's a contact strategy that you have built into your organization. How often are you going to reach out to your clients? Is it just for renewals? Is it just for whatever, just to say hi? Is it birthdays? Is it anniversary dates? Is it whatever it is? Think of the different ways that you want to put into effect ways to contact your clients so that you're bringing them value on a regular basis to help increase retention. You're in the insurance business, so part of what you got to do is lead generate, lead follow up, negotiate, present, and close, right? Those are great things. But now you have the client. How do you keep them? And you keep them by providing value on a regular basis, by staying in contact with them and solving the problems that come across their desk and your desk by reaching out and asking and talking to them. So have that proven contact strategy both for customer acquisition as well as customer retention.
I love it. So on point. Moving on to point number 6. Tip number 6, understand that making money costs money. I mean, this goes right back to the marketing strategy. This goes right back to investing in your staff. This goes right back to making sure that your brand and your even your office, if you have one, is going to reflect the ideals that you want for your agency. So if you are the type of agent who wants to work with high-end customers, but you're working in a little podunk office in the back of a nail salon or something like that, I'm thinking of what's that show? Better Call Saul?
You're talking about Better Call Saul, yeah.
Better Call Saul, right?
He's working in the back of a nail salon. Welcome to my office.
Yeah, exactly. Your high-end clients are probably not going to be super impressed with that. I mean, you could still do a lot, don't get me wrong. But making money costs money, and depending on what your strategy is, you are going to need to pour some dollars, especially into your marketing, into your staff, into growing your agency in a ton of different ways. I know you got a lot to say about this.
Oh, man. So I'm going to flip the other side. You don't actually need to spend money to make money. That's not 100% truth. However, however, having the cash accessible, having that marketing allowance or budget or whatever you want to call it, that money allocated towards a specific marketing strategy or game plan is going to help accelerate your growth. So you can still get in front of people, tell them what it is you do, and grow your business traditionally, picking up the phone, knocking on doors, shaking hands, maybe not as much with COVID, right? But still, you can get that stuff done and grow your business that way. But if you can implement a marketing strategy in place and add a little bit of fuel to that fire, you can really accelerate the growth of your company, but it will cost a little more money. You can invest in things that like hiring an employee, for example. Maybe you're not good at the accounting. You're not good at the numbers. It's not the thing you want to do, and it's holding you back. It's costing you an hour, 2 hours a day. How much is your time worth? Find somebody who can be a team member, invest that money, take that money and put it in that person so they can take care of the thing, so you can get more time to do the thing that you're good at, which is going out and talking to people, going out and closing deals, picking up the phone and prospecting, doing the dollar productive activities that are going to bring in revenue. So understanding that making money costs money, 100% if you want to hit the fast forward button. Making money does not necessarily have to cost money all the time. I mean, that's what this article is saying for this insurance agent, but it will hit the fast forward button if you're able to allocate those funds.
100%. All right, moving on to tip number 7. Hold people accountable to the goals you set. How many times am I going to say this? I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. I'm going to say this till the day I die. What can be measured can be improved. That's right. If you set specific goals for your team and you're not doing your job as a CEO, as an agency owner, as the boss, as the person in charge, your job is to make sure that the people around you, the people that you've put in the seats on the bus, are actually doing the right things. And the way to do that is to make sure that you can measure it. We have been at this for quite some time, and I'm going to be 100% honest and open, vulnerable, authentic myself, right? We did not do a good job of measuring a lot of our metrics early on. One of the things that we have recently started doing is making sure that we have every metric that we possibly can measurable. We're setting baselines. We're checking to see, okay, what is our actual renewal rate? What is our actual retention rate? The data in our system was just so bogged and clogged and dysfunctional that it took us a lot of time just to make the data usable. The data that you keep, the data that you have in your system is gold. It is absolute gold if you know how to use it. And that's the big thing. You have to know how to use it. You have to invest some time in being able to use the data so that you can have usable metrics to help you hold people accountable to the goals that you set. If you are telling your agents that they have to sell $10,000 in premium a month or $100,000 in premium a month, whatever your number is, you have to be able to measure it. If you can't measure it, they can't improve on it. Or
the same thing with the retention side, right? So if you're great at generating. You're going to have an agent and they're out there crushing it. Maybe they're bringing in that $30,000-$40,000 in premium every single month, and you're loving their production, and that's super awesome. But you're not even measuring the metric of what's happening to the clients that they already have. And because they're so focused on getting new clients that the existing clients aren't getting the service, and you're not monitoring that, how can you hold them accountable? Or worse, how can you apply that into your system so that you can make sure that those clients are being taken care of? The metrics they say a lot. They're not lying to you. It's data that you can use
just numbers
to help hold people accountable. Absolutely.
The numbers don't lie. The numbers
don't lie.
I've been saying it, Miguel. I've been saying it.
All right,
Miguel's been
moving
saying
on. Miguel has been. Hey, and I've been saying it, Miguel. Tip number 8. I keep saying step. Tip number 8: invest in yourself.
Dude, this one's crucial. This one's like, I mean, dude, I don't know how many books I've picked up and listened to, right? Because I don't really pick up and read very much anymore. Podcast episodes, YouTube videos. Like, there's so much information out there. There's no possible way you can consume it all, right? Unless we can turn into the Matrix and they can plug it directly into your head. There's so much information out there. So there is no reason. You have absolutely no excuse, 0 excuses out there for why you're not investing in yourself. If you want to know how to improve a particular system, your management system, I'm sure, has tons of training videos.
Oh, yeah.
You want to implement a CRM, there's tons that you can look into and learn how they operate. There is, when you want to learn more about marketing, you can pick up a ton of different books and learn about what other people are doing in your agency. There is no reason why you shouldn't be investing in yourself. The only reason is because you're being lazy, and let's be honest, you're not making the time instead of finding the time. That's right. The truth about why you're not investing in yourself if you haven't. If you have, then you're probably at a faster pace. You're looking at people in your industry, you're like, why is that guy kicking ass? Well, it's because that guy is taking the time to prepare himself so that when an opportunity presents itself, he's prepared to take advantage of it, he or she. That's what it comes down to. Sorry, my rant and rave.
It's cool. It's 100% true. Investing in yourself is not just, it's about making time to personally develop. So in my mastermind group, Junto, we have these 5 things that we look at. It's relationships, fun, business and career, business, career, fun, forgetting the 4th one off the top of my head right now. Health is the 4th one. And the 5th one, and often overlooked, is personal development. And that's the one where, this is where we're investing in ourselves. This is why, for me, my morning routine is so important. The days that I do the 5 a.m. Club, right? I do that call because they're holding me accountable. They're there for me to hold me accountable. But if I go back to sleep afterwards, I feel like crap the rest of the day, because that's my investment in myself, is getting up and staying awake, doing some kind of a workout, some kind of a morning run, where I get to listen to my audiobook and get myself motivated and ready for the day. That's investing for yourself. And like you said, it's not that you don't have the time, you're just not making the time. All right. And our 9th and final tip to grow your agency: go above and beyond for all of your clients. Man, this one, I love the person that works for me, Angelica Vega. She is awesome. Nobody tried to steal her. She's mine. She is great. I have not met anyone who goes above and beyond for every single person that she helps the way that she does. If this isn't you, you're going to have a rough time. There's a lot of times that I have not necessarily had the patience to go above and beyond for all of my clients. And believe me, I feel it. When I don't do it, not only is that customer dissatisfied, but they tell their friends, and a lot of their friends were already buying insurance from me. And the next thing you know, I'll lose not just 1 customer, but 2 or 3 customers. And I'm like, what the heck just happened? So going above and beyond for every single one of your clients is going to speak volumes. They're going to talk to everybody that they know. They're going to leave you, if you ask for it, rave reviews on Yelp and Google. And believe me, if you don't, they'll leave you reviews also, and you won't ask for those.
But how do you do that? How do you go above and beyond for your clients? And it's actually pretty simple. Under promise and over deliver.
Boom.
If you're going to meet them at 5, tell them you'll meet them, at 5:15 and show up at 5 show up at that Starbucks at 5 and have that cup of coffee already ready to go. Know what it is that they like. Under promise and over deliver. You set the appointments. You set the expectations. You're the one who's in control of this situation. So set the expectation down here for the client, but know that you're going to come up here for the client. Don't promise the cream of the crop and then just give them the cream of the crop. I'm not telling you to do poor work. I'm just telling you, when you present to the client what it is that you're going to do, you start at the bottom. You give them what they expect, and then over deliver on that. You set the precedence ahead of time. So give yourself the opportunity to perform above what the level that you set at. And it's really that simple. That sets you up for going above and beyond. Asking those questions that you actually care about, right? So how are the kids? What are you up to? Keep track of that in your management system.
Yes.
Keep notes, because people are gonna be stunned when you go back to talk to them 3 months later, 2 months later, 6 months later, whatever it is, and you're like, hey, how was your kid's soccer game? I know that they had a tournament last time we talked. They're gonna be like, wow, this person really cares about me. Under promise, over deliver. Pay attention, ask questions, keep notes, do what you need to do so that every experience with you is one that they remember. That's what it's all about.
That's the key. All right. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, 9 tips to grow your agency. Once again, this article comes from EverQuote. The links are in the show notes. Definitely check it out. Other than that, again, we really appreciate if you can give us a like right up there. Subscribe to whatever platform you're listening to us on. If you're catching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell. Follow me on all my social medias at InsuranceBroHam. And that's pretty much it. That's all we got for you today. As always, you all rock my socks. You have my heart. You got it ready?
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Thank you for tuning in to the Carrier Experience Podcast. James is the CEO of the Pipeline team of San Diego and is always in the market for top talent. If you are an agent looking for a place to hang your license, visit pipelineinsurance.com/agent opportunities or send an email to newagent@pipelineinsurance.com. You can find James on all social media at Insurance